Hi, my name is Kelly Frantz-Langford, and this is a little bit about our Tiny K community. We serve all of Shawnee County in Kansas, and so certainly we have lots of different communities, and this is in no way an exhaustive list of custom and traditions across the county. But there are a few things that tend to draw pretty large crowds in Topeka, the first of which is Cider Days, which is a combination of an art fair, there are food vendors, and then typically a carnival ride. Fiesta Mexicana, which is also rooted in tradition in our community, goes for a week in July, also has carnival rides, food, dancing. It's a well-attended event. Our community does a fireworks display and also vendors and food trucks go forth. And then we have what it's called Gage Park. And within Gage Park is the Discovery Center, the zoo, the park, of course, where there's play equipment, the amphitheater, and a swimming pool. For our population, for Shawnee County, we have a 92% high school graduation rate, but there's a pretty steep drop-off in that only 30% have a bachelor's degree. Our largest population is between 18 and 65, with a slight edge of females. We have our big employers are Blue Cross Blue Shield, Frito-Lay, Goodyear, the state of Kansas, Topeka being the capital, and then USD 501. There are actually several big employers because you could also add Target and Mars to that list as well. As far as race, white is about 73.5%, Hispanic is 12.8%. We certainly have an immigrant population, although it's not a large population in comparison with the rest of the county or within our program. And our program actually serves 7 different school districts. So we have one birth to 3 program that feeds into 7 different districts. For communication, we have both social media and broadcast availability. We're very lucky in that a large part of Topeka has access to broadband internet if they have the financial means to use it. Social media, of course, is another big outreach. TARC uses both social and broadcast media, with social media probably being the most effective to reach the majority of parents that we're working with. There are lots of community groups in Topeka, and so I just highlighted a few that are particularly involved in the early childhood community. The Topeka 2030 Club has done a lot of work both with time and funds of different early childhood projects around Shawnee County. The Junior League also has a lot of worthy projects, and their members spend a lot of time volunteering in the community. The Lions Club has helped us purchase and do vision screenings for our kiddos. And then the Topeka Parents Club is, or not club, Topeka Parents is an online Facebook group that sort of keeps people up to date on what's going on in the community. As far as leadership, we have what's called the Greater Topeka Partnership, and it is a group of 8 smaller organizations supporting economic development. We have a mayor and city council. Those are all elected positions. Certainly, business is a big influence in our community with Advisors Excel, Westar, and Hills. And then the Topeka Top 20 Under 40 Leaders are a group of hardworking adults. In our economic conditions, it's hard to rate where Topeka is in Kansas. The unemployment rate in Kansas is at 3.8%, and that's slightly better than the U.S. rate. Topeka has certainly had the effects of COVID. If I look back toward the last 5 years, we have had some pretty major companies move into our area, which has created more jobs. So it'll be interesting to see what this looks like once we are on the other side of COVID. As far as social tensions, certainly there are racial tensions within Topeka, particularly with the Black Lives Matter and Thin Blue Line group. Topeka has a fairly high crime rate, and so I think a lot of social tension is centered around that as well. As far as community efforts, over the last year, there probably hasn't been as many as in years past. But in the last 5 years, they did add a splash park to the east side of Topeka, which has been a nice opportunity for families that don't have a lot of transportation means to get to the side of Topeka where most of the swimming options are. Certainly there are community fundraisers. The picture below is what we call Winter Wonderland. This is one of TARC's biggest fundraisers in the community, and it's also a very well attended event. It's been around for a long time, and the community, we're very grateful that they support it. The other drive over the last, I'd say 5 to 7 years, is to try to revitalize downtown Topeka. One of the ways that they've done this is what they call the Noto Arts District, which is what is considered North Topeka, bringing in different businesses, bringing in the arts. Every weekend they have something, some unique restaurants, and so they're really trying to draw families back into Topeka. The power structure is a little hard for me to know exactly how to describe it. Certainly we have both big business and then government that tend to play a strong role in Topeka. As far as multicultural issues, because our services are provided in the home, last year we served over 900 families. We have 900 very different sets of people. And so we use what's called the routines-based interview to really tailor our interventions to a specific family and make sure that we're looking at our services, recognizing our own implicit biases, and really working towards equity in our services. As far as public opinion, TARC is very well respected within the community. We've been around since 1954, and we work very hard to provide services that really span the lifetime for people with developmental disabilities. So our programs go from birth through the end of life, and so it's really been a great run within the community. One of the ways we do that is that we try to ensure that TARC has a seat at neighborhood tables. And what I mean by that is Topeka is a fairly large community for Kansas, and certainly there are different neighborhoods or different groups of people that are working on their own goals, their own strengths, and their own challenges, and just making sure that TARC is out and about in the community, supporting where we can, is very important to us. Putting it all together, this assignment correlates to the standard by requiring us to improve our knowledge and practice skills. Believe it's relevant because community engagement is a big part of a successful school, and understanding how to connect parents and other community members is extremely important. And it was a nice exercise to reflect on because it was great to sort of take a step back and look at Shawnee County and Topeka demographics. It's actually very helpful right now during grant writing season. But it also led me to consider different communities where we probably don't have as strong of a presence and ways to improve those relationships. These are my references, and I appreciate your time.